It was such an incredibly fun process working on the movie, but definitely being pretending to be a football star is a lot easier when the director tells everybody else to not hit you so that you look good. There was almost a moment in the movie where I was like, I'm pretty good at this, and he was like, no, I told everybody to run slower than you. You're not actually faster than everybody. That's movie magic.
Was there some sort of a camp that you guys had to go to learn to play?
There was a camp that I actually was lucky enough to miss a lot of it because I was doing the show at the same time. So for my character, it was more about learning the different style of play, which is more like running like a track star than getting low and getting hit. Back then, it was more like wrestling you to the ground. So you ran as fast as you could until someone grabbed you.
Now your character has a secret.
Yes.
Who is he, and what is his secret?
He is supposedly a war hero, and he's a giant football star, and so he becomes sort of, one of the bigger celebrities in the country at the time. And the secret is that he's not a war hero, and that he basically found himself in a weird situation where he was given credit for something he didn't do. And that was a really fun thing to play. I think that any sort of added layer to a character is the fun part to play. And I think, playing somebody who appears perfect and isn't perfect, the thing about it that's fun is he wasn't sure he wanted to keep the secret, but a lot of people told him to. So there's a lot going on.
This movie takes you back to movies of the 30s.
Mm-hmm.
What is it about it that makes it that way?
It's interesting. I think that a lot of movies have been based on that era or shot in that era, but George actually directed a movie that could have been from that era, and I think it's incredibly refreshing. I don't think we have movies like that anymore. And if you say that those were simpler times, people went to the movies to be transported to a place where they were really, taken away for a couple hours and happy and feeling good, and that's exactly what this movie is. And in today's world, there's a lot of very quick edited movies, a lot of action, and even movies that have political views or darker views. And so to have sort of a feel-good movie coming along like this and look so good and feel like the movies that we used to love, it's a nice experience.
What is it like when the other lead and the director are George Clooney?
It's the worst because he's a terrible director and even worse actor. We had to coach him the entire time. I kept trying to tell him that he wasn't on ER anymore, but he really wanted to go with that. He's incredibly talented. It's a really hard thing to do to direct yourself in a movie. I can only assume, especially in a movie like this. But his passion for what he's doing and his knowledge of film is incredible, and he's so focused and knows exactly what he wants to do. So to have him be the director and the person you're acting against actually ended up being an incredible gift because he kept you the same amount of focused on both sides of the camera.
Now this kind of this kind of comedy also takes a lot of fast lines.
Yes.
And there's a lot of those in this film, right? Does it feel weird to do that?
Yeah, it is. George has a great term for it, which is like it's acting on your front foot. It's being ready for what's coming next. Whereas like on The Office, you try as best you can to make it like real life. So you try to pretend that you don't know what's coming the next time, and we're allowed to take long pauses for comic effect. And in this movie, it's all about jumping your line as fast as you can before almost before their line's out. And the thing about it is it's a really playful way to be, and it allows you to be really silly, and it allows scenes like the fight scene, which I love doing. It allows you to be really silly and go pretty big with it, which on The Office, we try to be as small as possible.